laughed to death at his own painting. In the 5th century BC, Greece produced some of the ancient world's greatest artists. Among them was Zeuxis of Heraclea, whose paintings were said to be so realistic that birds would try to eat the grapes he painted.
His mastery of light and shadow created illusions that blurred the line between art and reality. He commanded enormous fees for his work.
One afternoon in his studio, Zeuxis was completing a commissioned painting of Aphrodite, the goddess of beauty. The patron, in a strange request,
had insisted that an elderly woman serve as the model. The contrast between the subject and the divine beauty she was meant to represent struck Zeuxis as absurd. But he accepted the challenge. For weeks, he worked meticulously, applying his skill to transform the wrinkled face and hunched figure
into something both faithful to his model and fitting for a goddess.
The juxtaposition of the elderly woman's features with the goddess's pose triggered uncontrollable laughter.
His body shook with each burst of laughter, his face reddened, and tears streamed down his cheeks.
Within moments, his breathing became labored. The laughter continued without pause, preventing him from drawing proper breath. His lungs burned for oxygen as his diaphragm spasmed uncontrollably. Minutes later, the great painter lay still on the floor of his studio,
killed by his own amusement. The painting that caused his death was preserved for decades after, though none who viewed it ever reported the same reaction.
Death by beard fire. On July 29, 1108, the halls of the French royal palace, known for his indulgence and quick temper, had organized a grand banquet that evening. At 56, the king had ruled.
He was recognizable by his exceptionally long beard, which he maintained as a symbol of his authority,
but also made it highly flammable. The great hall was illuminated by dozens of candelabras and torches.
Philip sat at the head table, already deep in his cups by the time the main course arrived.
As servants brought a platter of roasted peacock to the royal table, Philip leaned forward to examine the elaborate presentation.
His beard, heavy with oils and essences, swung directly into the flame of a nearby candle. In an instant,
the fire spread with shocking speed, racing up toward his face. Courtiers froze in horror as their king's beard became a torch.
Several men leaped to their feet, attempting to smother the fire with tablecloths and cloaks. But the flames had already...
For 3 agonizing days, Philip lingered in his bedchamber, his airways damaged from inhaling the hot flames.
On August 1st, the king who had ruled France for 48 years succumbed to his injuries, his vanity having literally consumed him.
Died practicing for immortality. In 210 BC, the man who unified China died seeking something beyond his grasp. Qin Shi Huang had conquered 6 warring states. He built the Great Wall, standardized weights, measures, and writing across his vast domain.
Immortality, please.
But the emperor was obsessed with one prize that eluded him: immortality.
By age 49, he had dispatched alchemists across his empire to find elixirs, executing scholars who failed to produce results. His court alchemists created potions containing cinnabar, believing the bright red mineral contained life-giving properties. What they didn't understand was that cinnabar is mercury sulfide. The emperor began consuming these elixirs of immortality daily.
Within weeks, symptoms began to appear. First came the cognitive effects: paranoia, irritability. His advisors noticed tremors in his hands.
As the poisoning progressed, his gums began to bleed. He experienced intense pain that moved through his body like fire.
In supreme irony, the man who ordered the most dramatic extension of human achievement died.
His body destroyed from within by the very substances meant to preserve it forever. The emperor who wanted eternal life was dead at 49.